I'm thinking today particularly about the Fool card, and for a number of reasons. The motif of taking that leap of faith and jumping off into the unknown, which here my first tarot deck, the Bacchus tarot from Belgium, that it certainly had that sense encoded in it, with his bindle on his shoulder and his Phrygian cap. I was glad to see the Carnival at the End of the World tarot picks up the Phrygian cap, although it gives him a monkey too, and all these lovely little puppets, maybe, I guess you could say. But again, that there are figures on the other cards too. Fascinating deck. But from the early times, we have this sort of bouncing back and forth between the kind of the Fool as this wanderer, the Fool as this wanderer, and the Fool as someone who is beneath notice, versus the kind of Jester figure. If we look at the Medievale deck, this is the one I tend to use right now in professional readings, where it's the Jester who's playing at a role, who's not necessarily in the same position as the Visconti-Sforza. Here's the Fool as someone who's definitely down on his luck and missing even trousers. And I love the bird feather stuck in his hair. But this is someone who is in a much different position than we can think of as sort of the Jester figures. Here we go, the Etteilla, where there's a sense that the Jester is someone who has a certain amount of power and wisdom that they're able to get away with because they play the Fool. And again, here the Fool or the Alchemist. And interesting, too, that almost universally we have the Fool as the zero or the beginning or the before of a deck, except for Etteilla, he's the final statement. I think in part that might be a reflection on Etteilla's own view of the world, but it's in comparison to, let's say here, the Sola Busca, where again we have this sort of combination of the impoverished Fool, the wandering Fool, and here with the crow or raven on his shoulder, that there's always that implication of knowing more than is being told or is safe to tell. And an important part of the Fool card. And even on my phone, the cover image is Leonora Carrington's Fool card, taking that step into the unknown, into the abyss, as we must at times.